Amigas y amigos de Cartago, otro encuentro en nuestro programa. No puedo evitar la sonrisa porque se le ocurrió a Meteoro grabar en la terraza y bueno, justo está el festejo de la policía. Hay algo que a veces se nos escapa, pero hoy también se celebra, mientras se celebra el Día del Policía, el Día del Profesor. Fíjate qué mala puntería, ¿no? Para fecha. El Neuquén, ¿no? Obviamente ya eso pasó, que quedó extinto, pero es muy llamativo que se celebraban los dos días, el Día del Profesor y el Día del Policía. En Neuquén, justamente Neuquén. En este encuentro que tenemos esta emisión, vamos con una noticia que habíamos dado casi al minuto de estar grabando el programa y que hoy forma parte ya del día a día de lo que tiene que ver con la información concreta, real, la información medular, como nos gusta decir a nosotros, que es el arresto de Julian Assange. ¿Qué significa para todos los comunicadores populares, para aquellos que ven en el periodismo también la posibilidad clara, concreta de registrar el signo de los tiempos, pero también horadar al mismo poder? ¿Qué significa WikiLeaks para todos los que están empezando hoy a estudiar periodismo o comunicación, o se sientan delante de un micrófono, atrás de un teclado, frente a una pantalla, o se graban contando alguna novedad? ¿Qué significa la aparición de este portal que ha transformado a la información ya ahora con causal de estrategia militar? Julian Assange junto a Edward Snowden, junto a Chelsea Manning, fueron declarados objetivos militares por el poder imperial. Una volvió a ser encarcelada, la operadora Chelsea Manning, que había sido indultada por el presidente Obama, luego de hacer unas declaraciones y por negarse a acusar precisamente a Assange, ahora la volvieron a encarcelar hace muy pocos días. Edward Snowden, que se exilió en Rusia, prácticamente hipotecando su vida, no puede regresar a Estados Unidos y tampoco puede ir a ningún otro país en los cuales Estados Unidos tenga mucha influencia. Y Julian Assange, toda la dignidad, la fuerza, el carisma, ¿por qué no? Porque en el medio de estas condiciones tan desesperantes en las que se encuentra, se permitió sonreír y hacer el signo de la victoria, el signo de está todo bien, vamos para adelante, en el medio de una de las páginas más horrendas, horripilantes, por utilizar los términos que utilizó Roger Waters, para describir primero la situación del periodismo a nivel mundial y por otro lado también para entender lo que está pasando con el derecho internacional en esta época de imperialismo decrépito, pero cada vez más salvaje, ¿verdad? Nosotros hoy vamos a compartir un material que nos costó mucho conseguir en alta calidad, que son los orígenes de WikiLeaks. Rápidamente te cuento, vamos a hacer un repaso sobre el origen de WikiLeaks, obviamente conocer más de la figura de este campeón de la información, Julian Assange. Siempre pienso en la cantidad de periodistas que hablan, se babean cuando hablan de Watergate, ven House of Cards, Newsroom, ven todas las series de Netflix que hablan de periodismo, ¿no? Ahora, cuando tienen enfrente un hecho real y concreto, sucede esto, ¿verdad? Miran para otro lado. Nada, De hecho, en los medios regionales la única referencia que hubo respecto al arresto ilegal del periodista Julian Assange fue qué va a hacer de su gato. Ese es el nivel de miseria que hay en el periodismo empresarial respecto a un nombre, un símbolo y una palabra que hace temblar al imperialismo. En varias ocasiones, en el caso de Irak, cuando dieron a conocer los archivos negros, en el caso de los cables de la embajada de cada país que está subordinado a Estados Unidos hacia el Departamento de Estado y los expedientes Stratford. Para entender más de eso, compilamos este material. ¿Qué vamos a hacer? Lo vamos a dividir en 4 partes. Vamos a agradecerle mucho a Paula Mayorga, que nos ayudó muchísimo con la traducción del material. Hay partes que están en árabe y hay un sobreimpreso, y hay partes que están en sueco y también hay un sobreimpreso. Y nos encontramos al final de esta emisión especial que tenemos hoy en Cartago, casi en homenaje, casi acompañando y también dejando en claro de qué lado estamos cuando hablamos de WikiLeaks. Sean bienvenidos.
It's been reported that WikiLeaks has released more classified documents than the rest of the world's media combined. Can that possibly be true?
Yeah, can it possibly be true? It's a worry, isn't it? That the rest of the world's media is doing such a bad job that a little group of activists is able to release more of that type of information than the rest of the world has combined.
Picking up the wounded. Yeah, we're trying to get permission to engage.
Light them all up.
Come on, fire.
Good evening. They're the secret files from the Iraq
Die Internetplattform WikiLeaks fast.
Det är webbplatsen WikiLeaks som publicerat omkring 400 000 sidor hemligstämplade amerikanska dokument.
WikiLeaks have made public the most extensive classified military and diplomatic material ever. What they've released is challenging and provoking governments with skeletons in their cupboards all over the world.
We should condemn the disclosure of any classified information by individuals and organizations.
The people who are in power will not give that power away freely. That is just unfortunately a fact of nature.
The Defense Department demands that WikiLeaks return immediately all versions of documents obtained directly or indirectly from the Department of Defense databases or records.
It's only now that the true story behind the development of this closed organization is coming to light. But while the world's discussing whether Assange is a rapist or a saint, WikiLeaks continue to pursue their own political agenda.
Every release that we do of material has a second message, and that is we set examples. If you engage in immoral, in unjust behavior, it will be found out, it will be revealed, and you will suffer the consequences.
What we have here is a new breed of rebel, IT guerrillas without a national base. Student digs, coffee bars and server rooms, these are their command and control centers spread all over the world, and the battle's already started.
There's a general in charge of 120 Defense Intelligence Agency personnel targeting this institution and its products.
WikiLeaks have become a global force to be reckoned with in record time. It may not be easy to grasp at first, but the release of classified information is just a small step in a long-term political and ideological battle. And that leaking classified information is a weapon and not a means unto itself.
The public has a right to know materials, and the historical record has a right to have materials of diplomatic, political, ethical, historical significance. If something is interfering with that process, we will undo it.
He's been called the Scarlet Pimpernel of the computer age. If one were to judge him on his looks alone, you could call him a chameleon, given the frequency of his change of hairstyles during the 6 months we've been following WikiLeaks. But if you look under the surface, you'll soon discover that Julian Assange has been revolting against the powers that be for a long time. As a teenager in Australia, he called himself Mendax and got a name for himself as a highly skilled hacker. By the age of 21, he found himself in court pleading guilty to some 20 different charges of hacking.
Yeah, I mean, we had a back door in the US Military Security Coordination Center. This is the peak security for controlling the security of Milnet, the US military internet. We had total control over this for 2 years.
The US space agency NASA is one of the victims of the Melbourne computer hacking syndicate. American investigators, including the FBI, contacted Australian authorities with their suspicions.
The court was told the men even tampered with the police investigation into hacking at the ANU.
The judge, seeing Assange as just an inquisitive young man, fined him a symbolic sum and released him. However, the trial added further fuel to Assange's feelings about the importance of unrestricted information. Together with some friends, he sets up one of Australia's first internet suppliers and gives people with politically sensitive viewpoints a platform from which to publish their opinions. But when one of his customers publishes secret Scientology manuals, this prompts aggressive efforts to censor him.
Helen Coburn, one of the lawyers for Scientology in California, sent many letters trying to attack us, and they ended up hiring a private investigator to try and track me down. who did manage to get hold of my silent telephone line and call me up, and just as a sort of threatening maneuver. I ended up tracking down how they did that.
Those efforts to censor the site strengthen his conviction that something has to be done against those withholding important information from the public at large.
What the problem was, there needed to be more actions that created positive reform effect. More actions that were just and corrective to injustice.
Assange sees disclosures as a preventative instrument. It warns those involved in morally questionable or criminal acts that they'll be found out and will have to face consequences.
I understood the significance of disclosures for quite some time. I mean, I registered leaks.org in 1999.
In 2006, Assange and a group of like-minded people start building up a special internet service, WikiLeaks.org, exclusively for people wishing to blow the whistle on abuse of power. His fellow conspirators comprised of hackers and mathematicians. They're located around the world and communicate via a restricted mailing list. From this platform, they start defining their thoughts of building up a worldwide movement to mass publicize classified information. They affirm that this is the most cost-effective political weapon and that they intend to place a new star on the political firmament of man.
Any reform that is large-scale must be based upon information, because what else can spread other than viruses? Only information can spread and achieve large-scale reform.
Inspired by Wikipedia, WikiLeaks distribute the leaked information to anonymous volunteers to check its authenticity and eliminate any traces of the sender's identity. It turns out that the majority of the general public has neither the time, interest or resources to analyze WikiLeaks material, but there are professionals to turn to.
In 2006, we hoped that the general public would write analysis articles collaboratively. And not at all true.
WikiLeaks come to the conclusion that media are the only channels that have the resources and motivation required to create a real impact. In 2007, WikiLeaks, in association with the British daily newspaper The Guardian, published evidence of former President Daniel Arap Moi having embezzled massive sums from Kenyan state funds. Shortly after that, they release a report about the Kenyan police's use of death patrols. This disclosure causes a great stir, but as an organization, WikiLeaks continue to remain unknown to the general public. However, the word spreads among activists far and wide on the net, eventually reaching the German Chaos Computer Club, the biggest and oldest club for hackers in the world.
Well, I heard about it in late 2007 from a couple of friends. I started reading a bit more, but I started to understand the value of such a project to society.
The politically engaged Chaos Computer Club has been fighting a long-term battle for free access to information. One of its members, Daniel Domscheit-Berry, is quick to recognize the common ground between his view of society and that of WikiLeaks. He quits his job as a computer consultant so as to devote all of his time to the new organization.
The question is the attitude. What attitude do you have to society? Do you look at what there is and you accept that as God-given? Or do you see society as something where you identify a problem and then you find a creative solution for that problem? So it is a matter of, are you a spectator or are you actively participating in society?
The Computer Club has put the skills of some of the sharpest hacking talents in the world at WikiLeaks' disposal. What's needed now is a physical haven. Hackers linked to the Swedish file-sharing site Pirate Bay have what they need: considerable technical skills in a place where freedom of speech is unusually free.